I just want to go back. I want to go back to what we spoke last week regarding airplanes and trains, if you remember, over there. And we asked that we know there's a machloikis, a poiskem, if anoshim rab harba, v'anoshim rabba, that means a lot of women and a lot of men are together, if it is okay when there are pritzim. When they're not pritzim, we know. I can put a pritzim mamash. If they're not pritzim mamash, just regular people, we see that it's okay, because we see the Rambam, which holds that today's day we are not like a b'chaninim apupa, and it's also for one lady even to have yichud with two men, because what the Mishnah says that you could have yichud that's only tzadikim gemirim like the b'chaninim apupa. So therefore, even he brings down the halacha of a lot of women and a lot of men. So the question is, if it is in a matzav which is prutzim, really prutzim, is it okay or not? And we have a machloikas. So the question was here, basically, if the case is that prutzim mamash is not considered anushim rabba, how could we go on a bus? How could we go on a train? How could we go on an airplane? Yeah, that's the question. So I was looking a lot during the week to find the achronim. The achronim mishnahs, they have a hard time with it. Let me make it clear. But you have to be matter, because it's impossible other way. But I'll tell you how we could go around it. Basically, till one that came on just a new sefer from Zamlaib Philip, one of the big dayunim Satmar, and he comes to the conclusion that a big plane, 400 people, that's considered mukim ram. Like somebody wanted to say last week. This is considered mukim ram. This is ken hena zamizach. But what do you do if you have smaller planes? And what do you do about a bus? A bus, he doesn't agree. So there's no clear cut in the kiddah. So how do you deal with it? Now we know we have a machloikas if a man could have yichud with one kusher, one porot. If they could have, that means two men with one woman. Yeah, we know that's okay. But what is if one is a porot? Yeah, why is one a porot? Two men and one lady. It's okay. That's fine. Two men, two kosher. What is about ein kosher and ein porot? And there are persons which say, as long as there is one kusha, that's okay. So when it comes to the shala of a plane or of a train, of a bus, it is a man driving or flying by themselves, by himself, or a lady. If a man is flying for himself, like you brought last week, I'm flying to Honolulu, Kashas flying all over. So he's a kosher. Then we have a goy which is a porot. So we have two men. So two men with a nushim and a problem. So we have one sirv already. If it is such a case, if the man is the flying, so we have two men, which is much more. There's 400 men, whatever. There's a lot of men. But at least you have one kusher, one porot, which is that person is a kusher, the man and a porot, with the lady. So according to this shit, it's okay. When a lady is flying by themselves, that's a problem. Because she is flying, she has to have three men, she has to have two men, yeah. When she's going if she's flying, haben sie nicht die Härte von einem Puritz und einem Kusher. When the man is flying, is he the kosher, and they have a goy with support, so that's fine according to this shittas. But when a lady, that's a problem, because over there we don't say one puritz, one kusher help. That means two ladies, one a kusher, one puritz, doesn't work. So therefore we have to come to other things. So I found a few interesting things. First of all, we have, as I mentioned before, some poskim hold that the Radvas holds that anushim rab is even by perutza. So as once we have this shitta, there's no problem to going on the train. What?
How many is
So we have the machlekes, or three and 3, or 2 and 2, or 2 and 3. We spoke last week. Once there is 3 and 3, is hamanishka problem, and they hold it's even by paritzam. So automatically we have hamanishka problem. So we have one tziruf again. So we have one tziruf. If the man is going, we have the tziruf of 2 men, one akush, one aporetz. If a lady is going, flying, she doesn't have this heter. But we have the other poskim which saw that even Baparitzim is also it's fine. Then is Duanai Surah, which I saw. First, the Moshe Neishlas also dealt with this. First of all, let me tell you, Nitte Gabriel brings down for Bianchi Witzig Naiman from Montreal, as it's User. It's User. You know? Okay, I just want to bring you that the Moshe Neishlas was asked this question too, and he wants to say that a train, an airplane, it's different. Why? Because it's not possible, Pasha, to have masa. You should do an avayra in a plane. It's shaky. It's as us would have shake. This
they tasking on a ship. Maybe you could draw from a.
Do what?
When they had ships.
Okay.
It's more.
Say, okay. The same kid. So this is the Moshe Neishlas Surah. Auch das schwere Surah, because today's day airplanes, a train maybe okay, but airplanes fly smooth. But so do a zweite Surah, was the Chalkes Yankel bring, which halt das is a shine Surah. Halt das can man use. And I'm happy that I found it eventually. Chalkes Yankel wants to say, whenever it's a matzav that even the goyim have an issue with it, then a manish of fish, they're punishing for it. So therefore, there's no matzah of yichud. So he holds you cannot do an avayra on a train or on an airplane because it's a public place. In public places is mamanish. So automatically, Vils the Tanan on any time when it's in such a public place. So therefore, noch a tziruf. And the final which I mentioned is that it was Leib Philip says he wants to come with this chiddush. A plane heißt Amukim Ram. So nicht kein Hatayrim, it's Amukim Ram. But again, when it comes to a bus, he doesn't say it. So what's the gate there? It's a little bit hard because a bus not, and an airplane yes, and a train also. Abrakapuram, with all these things, with all the serifim, can a lady or a man fly by themselves? And the meeste svura, the geschmacksvura noch is the svura. As whenever in public places, even when it's in a pritzim, even when all the goyim and all the stewards and the pilots and all pritzim, and they have no issue. But in public places, this is one of the svuras. Zusammen mit all svuras can man sein. But again, I want to say it's not so pasha. It is an issue. It is on the kid. Okay. Let's go to the next heter. The next heter again. Pesach. Yeah.
Last week we didn't when we proposed that going start with the yid, you weren't so sure.
It's what?
Saying with the part going is we start.
Zug ich aber yes, aber das oft du poiskim is halt also. Si du poiskim is halt. Now again, that's not push it. But again, when we are mitzarav in Hilchas Apsakis, whenever you have an issue, you have a couple of, you cannot, this, we don't pass like that, but still a shitta. So since we have a shitta like this, you can take a couple of tayren, make it together, and that's why how it comes out. That's bechal the ganze nice kind of a poisik to how to deal, to be mitzarav in yonam, that they should come out to come, when you need, you have to take out, you take all the tayren. Okay.
In which scenarios do we rely on those who say a Lashon Harbe 3 and 3 is mutter?
3 and 3?
Yeah.
Everybody holds a 3 and 3 is mutter. Oh, this are machloekes. So some say only kshayrem. That means not kshayrem. It doesn't have to be kshayrem the Rambam. It means it's all of us, regular people. We say.
Regular people, even 2 Rambam is satisfying, right?
Dus haal de Chayu dan. The Chalkes Mechoykes halt no, has to be 3 and 3. Chalkes the Chayu, there's a machloekes if you need 2 and 2. It's enough 2 and 2. The Tazal 2 and 2 is enough. The Bashmir holds 3 and 3. The Chayyudah wants to make a shil of 2 and 3. So again, yes, yeah, fine. The next heter which we have which is called Pesach Pasich Rishis Ram. When a door is open to Rishis Ram, that's another heter that you could have yichud. What is considered? First of all, Pesach Pasich Rishis Ram is a starke heter. And it's even if the man is a puretz, and even if the lady is a prutza. and even if it's a goy, if it's a Pesach Pesach L'Shisram, it's an open door, it's not Matzah for Yichud. Now, what does it mean, the Pesach Pesach L'Shisram? So we have a big machloikas. The Rebbe Kiva Eiger brings down a Basmayer, and he agrees with him, that Pesach Pesach L'Shisram means the door is open. When the door is open, people could walk in. Automatically, it's an open door. It's nishka matzah for yichud. Although they are in a room which is basically inside. There's an apartment which has 10 rooms. And the front door is open. But since this apartment is an open door, people could walk in. Even though you can not look into the room where they are. Dus heißt already Pesach Pesach Saram. It's a heter. This is what I'm holding now. So let's
like a private place.
Even you have apartment. Again, you have apartment. You open up the front door. Even you are in a separate room. It is Seder because the door is open. As you hold the Basimayer and the Kiva Eiger. Has to be Pesach Pesach Shram, has to be physical, the door has to be open. There are other poskim in basically a lot of Malfrag because the time is short and we'll get fine. If it is unlocked and it's closed but it's unlocked, according to the Kiva Eiger and Basimayer, it's not okay. But according to a bunch of other Rishonim, which hold, as we steht in der Kimt aus Rabbi Yoina, as we kimt von Shivas Rashba, the Mambit, even if the door is not opened physically, even if the door is just unlocked, it is also called Pesach Cheshishis Rabban because people could walk in. Now the poskim say it has to be in such a situation which is a normal thing a person should walk in. That means has to be in such a place that. For instance, my son-in-law said in England there's no such thing a person should walk in a house even if it's open. Only there's no such thing you have to lock in. But the Chassidish Yiddim is a little bit different. It's more. It depends also which person. But my house was always open. People could walk in without knocking, without others walking. Great. People looked for the rabbi. They looked for those. They walked in straight into my Sforim Zimmer or whatever. Aber Thomas, zoek the poskim, it is only in such a case that people will walk in. Now, if you have children which live right next to you, and they'll walk in, that's also enough. As long as it's not a lock that nobody could walk in. If it is a matzav, which a child has no issue to come into the door, or he has a key to come into the door, is Geite Shinaran negede von Pesach Pesach Saram. Aber Thomas is a matzav, which there's no such thing a person should walk in a house without knocking at the door, so then you lose this heter. So when it comes at night, which is not a normal thing, even in the day there are houses which people will walk in, but nobody will walk in at night in a house. So therefore at night you don't have this heter. So when do you have the heter? If you have a child which lives next to you and they could pop in 11, 12 o'clock at night, okay, the heter. But again, where some people should be able to walk in. Therefore, sometimes when it's a matzah that you have no option, no choice, it's the best thing to say for a shulchan that you do me a favor, the door is open, pop in, walk in. So B'mayla is the pshat is he knows that pop in without knocking. So B'mayla Kim Toz, this is the heter from Pesach Saram. Again, at night or a time, whenever it should be a time, or in a place which is not known, people should walk in. There must someone heter. Now, again, we mentioned before, if the door is physically open, like the Kiva Eiger and the Smayer, then it is not a problem even if for inside room. That means you have an apartment, the front door is open, but you have a room down, basement, parlor, whatever it should be, it's also ogit. Except if it is in a mukha mitzna. That means if a person has an attic, for instance, which is even a person walks in would not go into the attic. Or has some hidden room or whatever, that's something else. As a fall, steitchen Pesach Chiva bringt from the Radvast. In such a case, is it not considered the Pesach Pesach? Even the door is open, but even if he's going to walk in, he's not going to walk into an attic or to some kind of a place. Now, another thing is when a person has, again, the door is opened, and they the what? In the night? No, if it's not normal, a person should walk in even the door is open, then Shemizan Amatzav is a person. Why does the Kiva Eiger hold? It has to be open. Because it holds when a door is open, people are more freely to walk in. But or it's locked, it's not But if it's a case, 3 o'clock in the morning, you have the door open, nobody's, it's not Amatzav, then in such a case, this is nicht Pesach was here. But if you are in a room, for instance, yeah, you are sitting in the room, and the door is open, so it's Pesach Yisrael. But there is a closed circuit TV in that room, which could see who walks in. Yeah, sometimes people have in the bedrooms a closed circuit TV, or in the kitchen, or in the dining room, because you don't want to see somebody who walks in. Zukt of them nachroinam, as in such a case, you cannot have Pesach Yisrael heter on a room which has a closed circuit TV, because now what's the heter? What? Security camera. Yeah. Closed circuit TV means a security camera. Yeah. CCTV. What?
So now it goes to our phones, so the way it's worse.
Is even that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, mal zijn with phones. So in such a case, is somebody could walk in. You have a closed circuit TV which you could see. Somebody's walk in, then you can stop. So in azar fall at the helfen can closed circuit TV. Now let's do vice versa.
Practically speaking, nowadays nobody walks in people's houses, so it doesn't help.
Oh, nobody walk. Them we have to know. We have to know in the Matthias.
In my house, you don't walk in.
Even a child.
A child does.
Okay.
But he's not walking into my house.
He's not walking, but one of your children will walk in.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a heter,
So
because he could.
It's okay. In his house, it's not okay.
If in his house there's no such thing as a child, he doesn't have.
Okay.
No, then he has a problem. Then he'll have a problem. Nochmal, man bald sehen, Thomas, what andere treffen, but this alone, it is a problem. Now let's do for opposite. What is if you are in a matzah for yichud, you're in a room which you're together with a lady, there's a matzah for yichud, but there is a closed circuit TV which looks at you in the room. In what is that? Is it heter or not? Is the matzah Ravosner is very chumar? CCTV helps nicht. But other achronim, and this is the way how I pass them, derech klal. It's a common shala in factories or in offices. If the screens are in the manager's office, when the manager is in his office, usually derech klal, his manager or whatever, the boss is in the office, and in his office he has a screen which divided on 5 places, and he can see actually now what's going on in the business, which a lot of companies have such a thing. Then it will help. Because then he sits there and he can see, and he can watch, and he picks up his eyes, he can see what's going on. So nobody's going to sin in such a case. But if there's a camera, and the boss could go back and look what's going on, that's not a heter. Why? Because nobody goes back and look. You know, when you look, we had a camera in Hachem, when they stole a bike, one of the neighbors, then the Chavayrim came and looked at the closed circuit TV to see who is the goy. But other than that, yes, nobody looked at the closed circuit TV. So nobody's afraid that somebody, to sin because there's a closed circuit TV. So again, when could you be a Michael? If it isn't in a room which the manager sits in his room and he has a closed circuit TV, then that's also considered Pesach Yisrael. Because he can see it. Now, even if he walked out, you don't know. Since the Eitzem Zach, as sits, the Kovac, it's open. It's not he could go back. In such a case, Kemen Michael Zan of Pesach Yisrael. Now, Pesach Yisrael is a fila misha askim, according to most poskim, a fila misha askim anushim, even he deals with women. It's even of a person who is misha liba gazba. All these things, Bechlal, oibs is often l'shis rabim, is it can Michael Zan. So do machrumirim. Let me say it clear, they are machmirim. But again, the Chag's mechoyke b'shmir is machmer. But sof kol sof, since we have the Taz with the Shara Yoysa, with a bunch of achroinim, with Zvilim Madaik from the Rashoinim, as such a case is okay. So azafal kema Michael Zan. It is very, now he brought up having in the phone. Now there are situations which people have therapists and whatever, which they have to sit with women, yeah, manalam, whatever it should be. And what is in such a case? You can open the deal. It's not normal. Nobody walks into a therapist's office without knocking or appointment or whatever. So Pesach Yisrael is a little bit not an easy way. So ich tracht, I have in the tzarif, we have a couple of tzarifim which we will have here, leaving the door open. But there's also a aitza that when you should have a closed circuit TV, CCTV in your office, it should be connected to your wife's phone. And whenever you have an appointment with the lady itself without a man, you should tell her, I'm having an appointment from 2 to 3 with a lady. Just, you should know, you could look in, watch, Now, if she looks at this, it's The Eitz Misik, that she knows that you are sitting with her at between 2 and 3, and you tell her she could go on the phone, and women in such a case will like to go on because, you know, the tendency. So in such a case, is this a zach? Also mit Mitzirah, all the tzarifim. But sometimes it's almost impossible to deal otherwise. It is an issue. So therefore, this is noch a tziribus we could use regarding closed circuit TV. Now, Pesach Position Sarabim, there's another way also. You have a window. But a window, there's a big difference between a window and a door. A door, we say it's open, people walk in. A window, it is only if you are in the room which you can see from outside, inside in the room. So therefore, in order to be able to look in, there's a couple of things in order to look into a glass. So Zung Dachroim has to be, the window should be opened, because when you have a glass, the brightness, not necessarily, or except at night. It should be inside, should be more lighter than outside, because if not, the contrast of those at night. All this thing, what? Because if not,
you cannot make the inside more light.
You can't, but you can open then the window. Once you open the window, then exactly. When you have a glass, then you have to make it, or you should open the window. And it's only as they are standing in this room. They cannot. Before we said if Pesach Shalom, they could have Yichud even in a separate room. But in such a case, only in a room which you can see from the window. In the Chronim guy, noch a step that it should be a place where they can see the woman, the lady. That's, for instance, if you cannot see, only it's a small window, only one person could be. Then the lady should stay over there, because the Iker was in Zulman is what we have to watch them, because Iker is the kid that we are afraid of the man of the woman, not the woman of the man. So if we see the man, we don't see the woman, he could walk away, and then we don't see anything. But if she stays there, we can see her, so them is a space for Sirish Saram. When it comes to a shlaf, the Michal Yoifi, other brings up, that when it comes to a shlaf, that they are together in a room which is open to the window, to the public can see, and they have to leave. Always the men should leave first, and the lady should still stay in the room till the man left. Now she could go out, because if the lady is going to leave first, she's going to leave first. We're not going to see the lady anymore, and now the man can go after her. So again, it is more tricky. But after we can, is this a heter? Sometimes it's very loose. If you have an office, you can look in from outside, then it's okay. The marsham titov nachach. Even if it has to be straight floors, the marsham, but if it is one flight up and you are against the window, if there is houses opposite of the window, that will also help. If there is on the street in your second floor, how could we look in? We cannot look in. But if it is, a Williamsburg house, which is you could look into that the other guy's kitchen because you live so close. So therefore, in such a case, even if it's the second floor, since the other guy is also on the second floor, that's a heter. But if it's other places, it has to be in the ground floor. So that is one of the heteros also of a car. Car, since it's opened, you could look in, so automatically, so therefore, if it's tinted, we're going into the promise which we mentioned last time. That's why we have to open a light, or whatever places we should be able to look in, and then the heter. So that's the second way heter which we have. So we mentioned before Baal Be'ir, we mentioned Pesach Shalom. Now, when Baal Be'ir and Pesach Shalom both are together, is this not lachter? So therefore, sometimes a lady is a plumber comes into your house. Your husband is in town, and your husband is in town. Then you open the door. So at least hast the sai Pesach Shalom and sai the balabiyid. Now the Chronim say, since we have a machlokes, what Pesach Shalom is, the door has to be opened or unlocked. When it comes to one-on-one, which is a yichud deraisa, you should be a machmer, it should be open mamash. The door should be open mamash. When it comes yichud to rabbunan, which that means it's more than one-on-one, it's only yichud rabbunan, then must come a Michael zan, nish wieder Reb Kiva Eiger masmayer, and it can be more lenient like the other Rishonim, and it should be unlocked. But when it's one-on-one, zung nachroinim. But if you have Baal Be'ir, then comes another heter. Now, one thing I didn't mention last week, we came late, it was the Ma'arif. Baal Be'ir, what is the gate of Baal Be'ir? As we mentioned, is he got New York City? So, Lamas, das Kumach, I kicked a bit nachroinim, das Kumach nachroinim is, it goes on the name. It's very interesting. The Chazanish has machadish, he goes with it. He says, so much more than Ezra McCoy with Shishuruf. But all Achroim go with it. It's truly on the name. So if like this, so Kingston and Wilkes-Barre is not Baal Be'ir. But if it is, Kingston is quite, even Kingston is very big. Let's say Kingston is very big. And if somebody, for instance, a person lives in Azizim Ziklur, the Chazanish Rabat Gan in Tel Aviv is nicht Baal Be'ir. Kachik is right next to. And even if you live on the border, it's not. Has different name. No. The Red Bank New York City is include 9. This nicht. It means Taka has to have the same name. They want to say Williamsburg Park is not Baal Be'ir. It's not Baal Be'ir. Although it's even in Brooklyn, aber es hat eine andere Nummer. Das ist gesucht.
So it's like Edwardsville and Kingston is 2 different ones?
Das ist gesucht. Wilkes-Barre in Kingston is my guy was Shema. Is this also because Ramat Gan in Tel Aviv is also right next to each other. It's some kind of gate that we have to make. But if it has the same name, kann es auch noch viel größer. Verstehst? Es ist schwer zu verstehen, pinklich des Wurres. Aber geht mit der Chazanish, das ist a Baal, she's in town, is a nerve. So das hat sich mit, he's in town. Okay. I was not about mentioning because this is a thing which people ask. No, they say Monsi New Square. They bring this motion. Monsi New Square is nicht Baal Be'ir. Interesting. Is I'm bring the emotion. Monsi Spring Valley, yeah. Okay, third hatter which we have is Shmiras Atanoikes. If you have a child which is a Tineg or Atanoikes, is in the house or with you, that's also not considered yichud because it is a shoymer. That means although you and the wife, within the lady, and the child, let's say a girl, it's 2 women and 1 man, which is also, but since the child is a kid, as we're going to get what it means a kid, these are shoymer for the lady, and that's fine. That means whenever a person has yichud with a lady, and there is a shoymer over here, that means there is another lady, has to be a Yiddish lady, with this nishmer, with a shmira, for nicht zindigen, automatically she needs a shoymer for the lady. That means, if you're going to have, for instance, a lady, 2 ladies, 1 lady is Baal Be'ir, so it's nicht an Yichud Be'ir, was ist Baal Be'ir? Sie ist a shoymer auch for the zweite lady. Weil whenever we have a shoymer, is this okay? Now, what is it considered the shoymer? And this is now we're going to talk very important halachas because she's not a guy for babysitters. We know a girl from 3 years old and older, is also b'yichud. A boy 13 cannot be meyachid with a 3-year-old girl. Let's make it clear. Also, a girl 12 years old, bas mitzvah, cannot be meyachid with a boy which is 9 years old. As we mentioned, a boy under 13, a girl under 12 is not a problem. But if one is an adult and one is, the other is on the geder yichud, it's awesome. Okay. Now, a child is a shoymer. What is considered a child? What does it mean? Has to mean like this. A child which the Lucian is azoi. Sheidaya tambia, that means it has to be a child, a boy or a girl, which basically you die, knows something, they know something is wrong over here, but they have no Yisra. And let me make it stay clear, the ages is, was ages, from 5 years old, in 5 years, a girl 5 years, or a boy 5 years, how many shonish can problems? These are shomer. These are shemeres. These are shomer or the shemeres for yichud. That means if a mechanic comes to your house and your wife is there alone, but she has a 5-year-old boy or a girl, is he a shomer? And says okay. Till what age? What is it the age then? Which beseres asmalabia? Zogen da chroine by girls. It's once she gets 9 years old. So from 5 till 9 is a shomeres. A boy, what?
What if they're sleeping?
We'll get to it in a minute.
Till 9 or through 9?
Till 9.
So through 8 then?
Yeah. That means once it gets 9, kameshenj. Till 9. Now, If it is a boy which is 9, although he goes out of the category of Yedai Tam Bi, but in any case, he's 2 men. If there is a Bal Malucha comes and your wife is there, and you have a girl which is 9 years old, she's no more shomer anyway. So now it's 1 man and 2 ladies, the awesome. But if it is andere Zad, you have a boy over there, and the boy is 9 years old or 10 years old or 11. Now, although Take is shonish kashomer, but it's 2 men with the lady. So B'maila is that's not when it's a child. Haben wir noch a child haben wir heter as a Tochter is shomer of Taten. In a boy is shomer of the mom. This is noch heter. This is a filler when it's Take heche. You have a girl which is together with the husband. For instance, a lady comes into your house and the father is there. Father is there, so you have yichud, the lady with the man, and she has a daughter which is 10 years old. So we said al shomer, the shomer which you mentioned now is not a shomer because she's older than 9, but she's a shomer because a daughter, so extra Sache, the Post besuchen, as a Tochter hat makbet of the Tat, watches the father. But when we say as a girl till 9 is a shomeres and a boy that's even a fremder, it's not yours. Which then, haben wir nicht, wenn es 9 ist, nicht, als wir sagen, eine Makbet, aber schon noch also der Heter, fin, the Heter which we had before, as then a shomer. So, for instance, but again, that's only in the time during the day. That means, if a man and a woman have yichud, and there is a boy which is a shomer, or a girl which is a shomer, that's only good during the day. A shomer is good during the day, 1 shomer. If it's at night, you need to have 2 shomer. Why? Because we are afraid that shomer will fall asleep, and then at a hefker, you can do whatever you want. So if there is one, so we need to have extra shomer. Now, if you have it extra shomer, in such a case, even if they're sleeping, there's not a problem, because the Chachamim say once you have 3 people, we're talking now 3 people, so therefore. In Azamin Oifen, even if they sleep, we say that if somebody in the middle of the night, they will wake up, they can hear what's going on. So again, at night, you have to have another extra shomer.
Okay, so let's put this together. So
What?
My wife has a baby, she goes to the hospital.
What?
My wife has a baby, she goes to the hospital for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Hospital, thank you. And so my mother-in-law comes for a few days.
Yeah, so you with your mother-in-law is yichud. Okay.
Now I have a couple kids around. 2 kids, as long as they're over 5.
2 kids, as long as they're over 5, is okay.
And if one is 7 and one is 13.
But in your case, you don't have an issue because the daughter is shomer on the father. Your daughter is shomer. Yeah.
That means 3 too.
Yeah.
If you have one girl under 9, and 5 and 9, who's shomer on her?
Well, a man with her is also.
So a man also, so if there's another woman there, how's the man? So she's shomer on that woman, who's shomer on her?
She doesn't. I don't say it's asma labia.
Yeah, but it's in the man.
No, was 9. Aber zoek ich dir. Sof kol sof. The benit was sie shomer is for the sie shomer for the once hab a shomer is keiner nicht mit dem zweiten. Das ist der Klau. That's why I said, if you have a lady which is Bala Be'ir, so since she's not gonna sin, the other lady will also not sin. Weil eine von den Sibbels verwusst, 2 Frauen ist ein Problem, because you have to beide sündigen. Both. But if you have one and will not, Eis ist heter Schibbe, weil sie ist nicht mehr, then you have...
So you're saying, so not the child is, since the child's in a shamer for the other one, so therefore it's not bound to be with the child.
With the child and with the other one, with both.
Yeah, but...
With both. Yeah, both, yeah. Yeah. So again, at night we read another Shem. What is the gather of night? Night means when the side is to schlafen. When there is, even if they're not going to sleep yet. You know our children, how from when you tell them to go to sleep till they go to sleep until they fall asleep, it takes time. But after again, when they're regular, they're going to to sleep, then that's okay. That's already. Then you need another one. Whenever it's a time when the child is the time when he needs to go to bed, you need an extra one. That's considered lailo, and you have to, Now there's another shomer. I mentioned before. Shomer is a small kid. That's a shomer. A daughter and a father, a boy and but there is other things too. The Gemara zoekt. There are chamishu nushim shesoyne ze azeh. The Gemara says there are women. When we say, the shviger hates the daughter-in-law, it's not just a saying. Chazal zugen dus. Chazal tell us. Now it doesn't mean hate. It means if they're going to find something on her and they could, they're going to catch her. They're going to. So as the Gemara, there are chamish nushim shesanim zeh, which is sister-in-laws. Sister-in-laws automatically have some kind of sin. That sister-in-laws could be, two women, which are two sisters, two ladies which are married to two brothers, or a brother's a wife, or a shviger and a shnir. For instance, one of you is going to your shviger, you're going for bezich, and it's yichud. You and your shviger is yichud, but your brother's wife is also there. So the shviger and the shnir, no problem, no yichud. What?
Your wife's sister. No. Your brother's wife.
I'm going to my shviger, and over there is my wife's brother's wife, my sister-in-law, a shnir from my mother-in-law. This is eine von der Sonnen. I married Ishay Bas Bala, a stepdaughter. Stepdaughter is a shomeres for the mother, for the stepmother, and the mother is a shomeres for the stepdaughter. Again, so all these things is why, because they make sure that you should be aligned, because they try to look something, they're going to find something, then it is they're gonna speak up. So therefore nobody's going to sin. So they say the Sachen, which is eine von der stärksten Shomer. So in a common shala again, why I'm bringing it up? We have to know that a common shala. Sometimes you want to go visit your grandmother, your wife's grandmother, or your shviger, and boom, it's a problem. But happens to be that has not shnir, then there's no problem. What? I didn't. Let me see. Stein nushim and asis la achim, sister-in-laws, isha v'chamoisa. Yeah. Okay. My stam so gesagt, wir sind nicht der Guy, so there's no point. In such a case is even if Misha asking manushim, even if the husband asking anushim, even if a gasba, all these things. Puris barois suchen schon da chroim dus nicht. Aber a kapunam in all these things is in the starkste shamra.
It has to be just my sister was there, or it has to be my wife and her sister-in-law?
No, you don't have your wife. Even you goes to your father, your sister, your shviger, to your mother-in-law, and your sister-in-law is there. But sister-in-law means not a daughter, not your wife's sister. Your wife's sister-in-law has to be. I need a shviger and a shnir. The mother-in-law and the.
But if my sister is there, that's
Anybody can walk into the house when there's a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law.
Yeah, anyone can walk if there is. That's right. If a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law are in one room, any plumber could walk in. Anybody could walk in. It's not a problem, because when these two ladies are together, nobody's gonna sezam b'siddur. Okay, let's go now to the next step. Is what do you do when you go to a doctor? Going to a doctor is a major problem. The achronim mitchenazach. Unashidiger Smoishe, the Vian Yosef Puperufsheim, all of them, they have big issues with this. Going to a doctor, going to a ladies doctor, or what do you do? Now, a lady which needs to go to a doctor. Is Zukt Rav Osner, lekitchila, you should look for a lady doctor, a female. And he says even more, if you have a female doctor, which takes money, and you have a male doctor, which is for free, you have to take the female doctor, because it's almost impossible to avoid a matzvah yichud. Only if one doctor is a bigger mimcha, that's something else. Mimcha, you don't play around with the health. But if it is not mimchishkeit, it is only money-wise, paskin Ravosner has tachoiv to spend money. Which we can understand it, because lois esse is aber chaklal, nicht over that lois esse is common mishboilam. So a kapunim das darf man gedenken. So again, if it is the same in profession, if one is a bigger mimcha than the other one, that's something else. Chitz, Tomer, if the guy who is a bigger mimcha is michzik b'prisa barois, which we heard already stories of doctor, which is rumors, such a guy that has to shkashim heter afro, should have had to go down. Good. When you go to a doctor, especially when you go to a women's doctor, is the first thing you have to go only when Kabbalah school, when it is the time to go. That means when it's open from 9 to 5, whatever is open. Don't when he comes in at night, a special appointment, also to do that, because at least from 9 to 5 is more shchich. People should be there. Second of all, zundach roinam, which is almost impossible, but akapunam, you have to. Oh, another thing before, you have to make sure also the way you have to be vigilant. Sometimes when it comes to you at the last appointment. So when it comes 5 o'clock, the nurses 5 o'clock they punch out. So they don't want other people to come in. It's like the bank. 3 o'clock, they lock the door. Yeah, if you want to come in, you can. If you go out, you cannot come in. So if it is such a case, I don't know if today's day it is such a thing. The nurse would walk out 5 o'clock and leave the doctor. But if it is such a case, zoek du ze extra zaak. Du hast a problem because they lock the door and there's no nurse anymore because you are the last person and she doesn't want any other people to come in. Them is ergste zaak. Them is mamsha problem. But even if it's not such a case, let's assume it's not such a case. We have still an issue. Because of what is the heter? A lady goes into a room, and it is echt yichid. Now, some achronim say you leave open the door. Now that's good if you leave open the door that people could look in. But in a regular women's doctor, when an OBGYN, there's no such thing that you leave open the door. Zugen at least it should be in such a way that the nurses should be able to come in. At least the nurses should come in without knocking. I don't know if this is a matzizdige Zach, bepoil.
The nurse usually comes with it.
Oh.
My wife makes the nurse be there.
You are okay. Now, if that's halbatzura, because after all, it's not ein man mit zwei women. It's not in ganzen hettering, but at least hast du weggenommen the reise. At least he took it with the reise. So the masse, the machronim, they have a very hard time how to go about it. But la masse, zukt Ravos narazoi. First of all, if again, it's not. I don't think it's practical because a man will not go to OBGYN. But the Tanat is if the husband is in the waiting room, heißt es Balo is nicht nur bei ihr, sie mamash leben dort, sagt der Rafaza Afal, Chotschigas, not normal, she'll open the door, even if it's not nobody walks in, but when the husband is sitting right outside, that is something which, what? Maybe when the first kid, yeah. And I don't know if the first kid, then you have, the first kid is still a Sidney man, so you're not going to go there, Al Caponam, that's this. Other poskim say that you should take along a shomer, a small kid, a 5-year-old child, if it's possible. But again, once she goes into the room, you cannot. It is very tough. Lamasa zug dachroinam. It is kedai in such a case. 2 things: make sure the doctor does not lock the door. Focus don't lock the door. And a nurse could walk in once if she has a phone call and she needs to get the doctor, she will walk in. So leave it at least open. Number 2, it is kedai that it should be at least 2 nurses. It should be 2 nurses, which usually doctors always have this, a nurse and a receptionist, whatever. That's so has to drive from. 3, they say it is kedai that, or you go with Isha Kishayra, another Isha Kishayra, so at least, or a shoimer, all these things together. It is kemenas derech push because again you have no choice. But again, Sai Ravosner, Sai Devian Yosef, Sai all the poskim which wrote on Yichud. When it comes to doctors, they are stuck. Now, when it's not an OBGYN, it's much easier. Then you could leave open the door, and they can ask the nurse to walk in. But when it comes to these things, it's a little bit more difficult. Now, again, if the husband can stay outside, there's one hat to make sure the door is not locked. If you can have a small child to come along with you, if you're not the first child, so Yuda, if it's not the first child, it's only a child, you have already a 5-6-year-old girl, mom is going to the doctor, Kenzan, das ist schon noch eine Sache, was it could help.
And if the husband's in town,
No, it doesn't, because we mentioned when we spoke, this kid, if the husband is in town and he gave her permission to be meyachid with someone, we have person which say it doesn't help because he gave her permission. In such a case, he gave permission, she should go to the doctor. So that's why it is a problem. So yeah.
So a lot of doctor offices where the front door is locked, but people will buzz anybody in.
Oh, but it's locked. So
So is that I'm saying it's like
that means locked. That means yichud.
Open, but all the other doors are. I'm saying it's closed, but all the other doors are open.
That's a problem for yichud. Echte problem. That means it's locked. Now, if you have other people in the waiting room, then it's the problem with the room which the lady is together with the doctor by herself. That's the second problem.
Let's say it's only women in this practice over there.
Oh, that's the best Sache. Women doctor amachaya. No problem.
Talking about
No problem.
sound doctor.
A man doctor. We're talking about a man doctor who goes privately in a room with a woman. So that's yichud.
I'm talking about just a general case.
Yeah.
For men,
So that's easier because that's what I'm saying. That's easier because over there, that nurses walk in. Walk into have a phone call from another doctor. It's masim chalyoim. If you ever go by a doctor, you could stay in the room with the doctor, and the nurse opens up the door. Doctor, I'm sorry.
These who not necessarily are. Let's say if you're all going.
Yeah.
All the nurses.
But once if people walk in, come in, Pesach B'Shis Ram Agaf is even when the Pesach is going. If you have a door open, you have yichud in your house, and the door is wide open, and it's a Shisarabim and the Goyim, it's not Yidden, it's a Goyish, you live via Shlichus and you live in Taiwan, and it's all Goyim outside, that's Pesach. Because that Pesach Shisarabim is a heter even for Goyim.
I was saying that a lot of times the front door is locked.
That's what I said before. When it comes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that's the first problem. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the nurse will close the outside door and leave.
But a lot of times it's just mistamel locked. A lot of doctors, dentists, this other thing. They're in a building, the door's locked. You buzz the door, they buzz.
Yeah, but at least you have inside people are inside. That makes it easier.
Inside.
But that's why I've also said when.
All going inside.
Fine. Okay. Here.
All women and you're a man.
If the door are open, heißt es Pesach B'Shis Ram, because it's a Ram which is outside. It's a Ram because people come in and out.
I was saying the front door is locked.
But they can also in and they sit outside. Now, if you are in that's why the Moses said when it comes 5 o'clock and you stay in the room with the front door is locked, you with the doctor or two ladies, a problem, Taka. But when it's an office which is open, people walk in, then.
No, that's what I'm saying. My point is, if they buzz everybody in, then it's considered open. That's what I'm saying.
If it's considered open when it is the tzad, when it's the time, and you have people inside too. Because if not, bist matzah for yichud. They can open the door. They don't have to. You buzz the door, I don't open.
Yeah, that's my question.
If the door is locked and you are alone in the office, you have an issue. Because it's matzah for yichud. The door is locked. You and the doctor are alone.
I'm saying that the front door to the practice is
I am answering your question. We are repeating ourselves. Yeah. The front door to the practice is locked. And you're inside in the waiting room. And the doctor is in his room. You and the doctor, I mean not you are a man, but a lady and the doctor, yichud.
A woman doctor and you would also be.
You and a woman doctor with the same problem. Exactly. No, when it is hours, there always people are in the waiting room. A regular doctor, there's people in the waiting room.
Not necessarily.
Or if not necessarily, you'll have to make sure the door should be open. Or if there is 2 receptionists. That was got me around 2 and 2. Yeah, because then you're going into 2 and 2. Anushmaram, Pritzim, then you're going into other. Again, you have to always look for other type if you have. If you don't have, if there's one lady a receptionist and a lady doctor and you, it's yichud. If you go into 2 o'clock in the middle of the day, it's lock the door. They could buzz you in, but it's lock the door. And there's a receptionist and a woman doctor and you, yichud.
And 2 receptionists would be.
2 what?
2 receptionists would be okay.
Two receptionists is then is one man. Zoek ich dir. Oh, du hast mit goem. Yeah, you have to make sure that the door should be open. That you should ask at least unlock.
At the front.
The front door should be at least unlocked. Yeah, exactly.
The heter of the husband maybe that's what.
Ze niet 100% lekitchille. Ze lekitchille, want als je kan breien. Aber voor andere zaken, the husband will not walk into the war room. Aber kijk me terug aan, zie de chazanische gedank. Het is een nerve. The husband is outside, sitting outside. This is een nerve. Ze vraagt zich lekitchille. The husband is outside. This is the best option. The best option would be if you take into the room a shomeres, but it's not practical. It's not practical. What? Okay. Okay, we have a curtain. That's yeah. In the room, if you come in and there's a curtain, then it's okay. Yeah. That would be the best. The husband can come in, or a shomeres, or a lady. That's the best thing.
So the other way around. A busy neighbor, a doctor that's busy, and a woman is a doctor, and you're going inside. So you should probably leave the door open.
You should have the leave open. You should be open. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the same goes for doctors, therapists, shalom bayis, or all these things. Darf man wissen, das ist ein Problem für ich. You have to be, rabbonim, which sit with women, also. The wife has to be at home. Can't show them an item which is chadam mit alle tayra. Let's go just to the final halacha. A person has no iser yichud with his wife, although she's not. But the hara, sof kesov, shtayt halacha as sige b'sheshanim. It's not a problem. Only the night of the chasana we know. If then there's something else, but regularly sige b'sheshanim, she's bekenes u'meheter. It's not a problem. But if there is a couple which you are basically on the verge of divorce, that means betalichei girishun, and there's no sikuim to make shalom bayis, it's over, and there is yichud. Although it's a husband and wife, over there is yadu yichud. As afal, the chronim hom a ganze shale when amordas, if you could be miyachid with amordas. The master chronim in the Michael because amordas could decide one day, enough. Genik, aber akapunam, if it is in a matzah, when is the guy? Sometimes the husband and the wife they're in the middle of a divorce procedure, but nobody wants to go out because nobody wants to lose the apartment. Usually who stays there, so nobody wants to move out. So one is in one room, other is in the other room. In such a case, whatever it should be, is do a problem. But only in such a case again, it's a sequim of shalom bayis. One final halacha we have to know, it's halacha shechanurig, that you have to have a ksiba. User leish leodom, that he should be without a ksiba. If a person lost his ksiba, is zim meteres miyichet. Also shtayt mit miyichet, but it's a thing which you have to write a ksiba derches, as you know. If you don't find your ksiba, it doesn't mean that if you woke up now, let me see where my ksiba is, and I don't find it, that's already, you have to go to the Rav. No. You have to thoroughly look, or when you moved and you looked and you didn't find it. In such a case, you have to make an ksiba. And it's also to be, posh. What is if you realize the mid Shabbos that you don't have your ksiba, you turn over your house, you don't have the ksiba, is it a problem? In such a case, you should go to your wife and see, be makna, your menorah, be makna, jewelry, expensive thing which you have, or the furniture. This is towards your ksiba. So automatically, that will help till after Shabbos. And right after Shabbos, you have got to make a new ksiba, because usel udam as a zalzana inyan fin beloy ksiba. I just want to finish with the story. Rav Osner, my Rebbe Rav Osner, his father came home after the war. And after the First World War, I think it was after the First World War. Came home, and his wife opens the door, and it's I don't know, I think his father's name. Yosef Tzvi, the guy's his name was Yosef Tzvi. And he said, Yosef Tzvi, Hakim Allah. Oops, you have your ksiba? You have your ksiba? If not, I don't want to come in. You have your ksiba? If you don't have the ksiba, can I walk in? The shaila was, when was the shaila? It was a shaila which is an hour through. We had a whole shaila of them. Ukraine, shluchim lived in Ukraine. There's a war, bombarding. Your house is bombed. You ran away. You live now in Kingston or in Muncie because till it's going to calm down. Where's your ksiba? You don't have a ksiba. You have a ksiba. Don't you have a ksiba? In such a case, you got to go and make a no ksiba derechasa. Okay, I think we covered more or less the halachas in the chesichid.
If you're traveling, your wife has to always keep her ksiba.
No, you don't. As long as you know where it is. That's why it's kedai to have the ksiba in Masechtas Ksibas. In the Shas, in Masechtas Ksiba, except if you have a wife which is organized with the passports, with all those things, then she can keep it. If not, that's the simon I always say for people, for couples, put it in Masechtas Ksiba in the front and the back, it's over there.
The door open.
Yeah.
It has to be all the doors open to whatever you're in, or just the front door?
No, the front door is enough. But the other, no.
If you open the front door and once the front door is open, you want the other one after door?
Even if it's a matzah for yichid, is once the front door is open, the door is open, then habe ich schon kein Problem für yichid.
Any other door?
If you like the door, it will be open.
If you like the door in
Inside door.
as you like the gezicht. Right, but don't have to have to be open. No.
Doesn't have to be open.
No, doesn't have
So
to.
the front door of the house is open?
Yeah.
The door being open for sure stop. Did you get it for sure stop the same as by Hilchos?
No. People are walking through. No. People are walking through. No, it's not the gate of